Hello friends, today I am going to talk on a very popular topic, that is, will accountants be replaced by AI? AI means artificial intelligence. There are many videos on this topic on YouTube, and most of the YouTubers have explained how the AI is going to replace the accountants, and they have created a panic situation in the market today that accountants jobs are not going to be anymore and it will be completely replaced by AI. However, I have a different view to that. I have 15 to 16 years of experience in large MNC companies working in the accounting department. So I am going to give my perspective on this particular topic. I'll be talking about areas where there is a risk which AI can replace the accountants. And I'll talk about the areas where the accountants can upskill their knowledge, upskill their technological knowledge so that they can sustain or they can continue their jobs and can grow in their career. If you are new to my channel, request you to subscribe to the channel. So let's begin. I will start with an example to give you a little bit clarity how the technology has changed and how people have got adopted to the new technology. So I'll start with an example where I'm going to explain you the cash withdrawal process from bank. I'll be taking an example of the process adopted by banks 2 decades before, or maybe you can say 20 to 25 years back, versus what currently the banks are doing. So 20, 25 years back, each bank used to have cashier. So cashier is a person who will be sitting in the counter, and the job is that to take deposit from the customers and to give money at the time of withdrawal to the customers. So if any customer has to withdraw money, the only process was that the customer need to go to the bank and then get the money from the bank, right? Now, there were a lot of challenges in this process. So what were the challenges or what are the process followed? Customer has to come physically to bank. That is one of the challenge. With if you are not coming to the bank, then very difficult to withdraw, right? Second, customer has to wait in the bank because there will be a big queue, right? And when your turn comes only, you can give the form and get the money. Third, customer has to fill withdrawal form specifying the amount to withdraw, bank account number, signature, date, many more things to be filled before you hand over the form to the cashier. Then what cashier does? Cashier will check in the account the amount available in your account, and if you have sufficient fund, the cashier has to count and give the money to the customer. So the physical cash is handed over to the customer, and withdrawal only possible during bank hours. And I have seen personally like the bank hours will be generally like 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. After that, the cashier will not be available, or the cashier may go for lunch and you may be waiting in the bank. So a lot of challenges were there during that time, right? Now, what happened in this 20 years time? The current situation. I'm not giving example of ATM, but the current situation that we have digital phones, we have apps where the bank give you a credential and you log in, and then you can do all your transactions, right? Sitting at your home, sitting on your chair, right? So what benefits now you have as a customer? Customer can transfer money to anyone at any time, can access the bank balance on real time, can add pay and schedule payment for them, can visualize other accounts like FD, RD, etc. Even bank products, you can also go through that. Can create limits for fund transfer. This is more about controlling your fund transfer. S- So these are few benefits which I have written, but there are multiple benefits. So what has happened in these 20 years or 25 years? The cashier is replaced by digital app, right? What the cashier used to do, now the digital app is doing the same for the customer and many more about that, right? So you can see what is happening. The job of the cashier was never a risk 20 years back. And cashier used to feel that bank is here to collect money and bank is here to give money to the customer. So the cashier would have never thought that his job will be replaced. But today technology has taken that job, and today very rarely few companies have a cashier where the withdrawals are quite frequent. Otherwise, no bank is having a cashier today, right? Fine. Hope you understood how the technology is taking over the jobs and replacing the people. Now I'll go to the accounting side and explain you that what are the activities which the top companies are looking to replace people. Now let's try to understand what is getting replaced by AI. Which are the activities, which are the profile, or which are the transactions which are getting replaced by AI? Because this is very important so that you also understand that which are the job which are under risk, right? So the first one is jobs where manual and repetitive jobs are done. That means the individual does manual jobs, calculate something in Excel, try to link formulas, try to do VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, whatever maybe you name it in Excel, right? These are all manual jobs. Then repetitive jobs. That means the transaction is repetitive. The end-to-end process is repeated throughout the day, right? Like invoice processing, it's a repetitive job. Second, processes having high errors. So if a human performs a task and you find that the error which the human makes is increasing and you can't control those errors, it is a very high risky job. So those are the areas where management always look into to bring automation so that the risk of error is reduced. People dependent. So if any specific activity the company is not able to perform faster because somebody is delaying in the process, somebody is taking more time to deliver a particular process, then the management will look to replace that process with the AI. Another area is time taking jobs. If the individual is taking more time to deliver, then management will look into it and see that whether that task can be replaced with automation or AI so that the company can bring efficiency and save the manpower cost. Now let's understand what are the transactions, what are the activities are actually performed within the accounting department, right? I know you may be familiar with this, but as if somebody is not aware of these transactions, then it will be good for them to understand that what actual activities is performed within the accounting department. The first is procure to pay, second is record to report, and the third is order to cash. So when it comes to procure to pay, the first one is invoice processing, where you do the three-way match, right? GRR, PO, invoice, quantity rates is checked by the accountant. Second is invoice collection from vendors and other businesses. That means if the invoice is not collected on time, then what will happen? You will be making delay in payment. So you have to ensure that your team reaches out to the right person or vendor to collect the invoice on time. Third, follow up for mismatch cases. So if there is a difference in quantity, there is difference in price, then again you may follow up with the plant people or you may follow with the procurement or vendor to see that how you can have a resolution for that and you can make the payment on time to the vendor. Fourth is vendor reconciliation, very important. That means whatever you show payable to the vendor, the same the vendor should be showing as receivable from you, right? If there is a mismatch, then you need to check that are there any invoice you have not accounted or you have made some payment and the vendor has not accounted. GST reconciliation, very important from India point of view. You can take credit only if your vendor has filed the return. So many companies they do reconciliation to find out that whether the vendors are filing the return on time or not. If they find any discrepancies, then they have to contact the vendor and ensure that the vendor is filing the return. Issue of TDS certificates. So when you process invoices and you deduct TDS, then every quarter you have to issue TDS certificates. Payment on time to vendors. This is one of the critical KPI for the P2P team that they make the payment when on time to vendors, because if there is any delay then the relationship with the vendors will not be good and they may impact the supply. Advance payment to vendors. Few companies have employee claim processing under P2P. So in that case, you have to process all the claims from employees on time and make the payment to employees on time. Coming to record to report, this team mostly focus on financial statement reporting side. So the first job is journal entry posting. Okay, it can be throughout the month or at month end closing. Second is account reconciliations. So all type of reconciliation they need to perform and see that key the numbers are all correct. Bank reconciliation, fixed asset accounting, inventory accounting, provision for bad debt, preparation of financial statements, handling various audits, financial data analysis, right? And coming to order to cash, the activities invoice accounting, that means the invoice what they're going to issue to the customer. Cash application, when you receive the money from the customer, you have to apply it to the correct invoice. TDS receivable entry, if the customer is deducting TDS, then you need to post that entry as well. Customer reconciliation, same like vendor, here also you need to reconcile and see if there is any discrepancies, then you have to account those. Dunning process. Dunning is mostly a reminder to the customer if they're not making payment on time. Credit note issue to customer. So if there is any credit note to be issued, then you have to issue to the customer. And handling customer queries. So these are not the complete list, but yes, these are the key activities what the three departments do. That is P2P, R2R, and O2C. Now let's understand. I'll explain you each particular area like procure to pay, R2R, report to record, and order to cash, and explain you that which job or which activities are taken over by AI in the current market, and which jobs or which roles you should redefine so that you change your skill set or you change your way of working. Now let's try to understand in case of procure to pay activities, which are the areas the AI has already replaced. So I'm not going to read the activities of procure to pay. I have already explained in the previous slide. Now I'm going to talk about areas where the AI has replaced the transactional activities or repetitive activities. The first one is invoice processing. So there are tools which can pick data from PO and match with the invoice shared by the vendors, trigger automated mails to concerned person in case of mismatch. So there are tools available in the market today where it can pick the data from the PO and it can pick the data from the soft copy of the invoice, matches it, and then posts entry in the ERP. And if it finds any difference like quantity difference or price difference, then it will trigger mail to the concerned person so that they can look into it or can talk to respective department. Second one is very important, that is vendor reconciliation. This is a very regular process which the P2P team performs every month. So there are tools available in the market where both statements can be uploaded to the tool. That is the statement received from the vendor and the statement from your ERP. And with the common reference, the system can reconcile quickly and give you the differences which the management or the accounting team has to look into it. Third is GST reconciliation. So there are tools which can reconcile the GST data available in the government portal with ERP data. Same here. Wherever you find the difference, you can talk to those vendors and see that they file the GST reconciliation on time. Fourth, employee claim process. So employee claim process is very critical because employees will demand payment on time. They can't wait because they would have paid from their own pocket, for example. So expense management tools can help employees to submit claims online and accountants approve the same in the system. And the best part of this employee claim process is that in these tools, the policy is mapped. That means if somebody by mistake also claims something beyond the policy limit, it will not allow the employee to submit. So the accountant need not spend time to check the compliance from the policy point of view. Now, as this AI is replacing this transactional activity, right? Transactional repetitive jobs, how your role has to be redefined. This is very important because when AI is taking over the transaction activities or repetitive jobs, as an accountant, what will be your new task? This is what I'm going to explain you. Roles redefined for accountants. The first one is exception management. That means focus only those invoices which is not processed by AI, right? As I explained you that if there is a difference in the quantity, difference in rate, then system will not post and trigger a automated mail to the concerned person. Your job starts from there, acting on that faster, getting a solution, right? So that AI can process it. Second, connect with vendors. So you have lot of time now saved because the AI is doing it. So you connect with the vendors for invoice mismatch cases, GST non-filed cases. Because when you are busy with transactional activity, very rarely you will have time to talk to the vendors, writing mails to vendors, connecting with the vendors for the issues. But now you focus on the quality side, that is on talking to vendors and getting it done on time. Third, monitor aging of GRR and vendor invoices. So these are the areas where you need to look so that the invoices are collected from the vendors on time. The business team understand that the GRN has to be prepared on time. Fourth, internal control documentation. So for the audit purpose, you need to prepare a lot of documents. So when AI is doing the repetitive job, you can focus on preparing the documentation on the internal control side. Focus on process efficiency to get best benefit from AI. Example, GRR not accounted by the business team. So your focus should be more on developing the process. Even though AI has replaced the repetitive job, but there is always a scope for improvement. So if you see that in certain cases the AI is not able to perform as expected, then you have to look into those deficiencies and see that how you can act on that. Six, handling vendor queries on time. Sometimes you may see that the vendors are not happy with you because you are not responding on time. Now, because AI is doing the repetitive job, you have sufficient time to focus on the vendor relationship and ensure that you reply to vendors on time. So you can see how, as a day-to-day transition activity, you are moving to the managing side, you are moving to the controlling side, you are moving to the area where your focus will be on value creation. So the activities what I have written in the right side, roles redefined for accountants, these are the value creation for the company. Now let's try to understand which are the activities of R2R, that is record to report, is replaced by AI. So you can see these are the activities which are performed by record to report team. I'm not going to repeat it because I've already explained in the previous slides. Now let's understand which are the activities are taken over by AI. The first one is journal entry posting. So there are tools where the requester can provide the entries in the Excel format and the same ones uploaded by the accountants gets automatically posted in ERP. So you need not go to SAP and post 40, 50 entries and all that. It is all automated. Excel file need to be updated by the requester. Accountant just approve it. Data gets into the SAP system. Second, accounts reconciliation. Very important for the R2R team. So there are tools available where different reconciliation are performed and exceptional items are highlighted to take action by accountants. Previously, what used to happen in a manual job, you need to reconcile, you need to see which item to be cleared if it is not cleared. Now this account reconciliation tools throws reports giving aging reports or giving items which are not cleared so that you can act on those exceptional items. Third, preparation of financial statements. Tools are available which can prepare financial statements based on ledgers mapped into it. So only what you need to do is that you have to map which ledger has to be reported in which particular item. And then systems gives you the financial statement. You need not spend time in preparing the Excel sheet. Just you need to download from the system. Fourth, Power BI tool, very commonly used in the market now. So this tool provides customized reports which help the management in taking decisions on time. For example, you want to see margin analysis, you need to see your gross profit analysis product wise, or you want to understand the movement of cells in last 2 years. So whatever way you want to customize your Power BI tool, you can customize and the reports are available in real time, or you can save within 1 or 2 minutes. And this activity generally accountants perform 1 day, 2 days based on the data or based on the systems they have. But today all the systems can be integrated to BI tool and the tool can read data from different tools and prepare reports or dashboards to the management. Now, similar to P2P, how the accountant job for R2R is changing and where the R2R accountant need to focus. Okay. First, check the backup documents for JV. Okay. So generally what happens, many companies they report their financial statement within 4 working days or 5 working days. And what happens generally, if you're manually posting a journal entry, you don't get time to check the backup documents, right? Generally, what will happen, you will think that okay, the team has given me the entry, I'll just post it because I don't have time to verify. I'll verify on sample basis. Once I complete the closing, I'll do it next month. Okay. Now because there is a system which takes care of automated JV, you will have time to verify the backup documents. That means the control is within the same day, same time before you approve the document for JV, right? So the activity which you plan to do it subsequent month now is performed on the job, or you can say on the spot. And if you feel that these documents are not sufficient enough for the JV, you need not approve and the entry is not posted. Second, exception management. So exceptional items derived during reconciliation to be addressed. So when you're doing account reconciliation, suppose you're finding something is exception, then you need to act on that. Third, your focus should be on compliance of IFRS Ind AS. Now, because the financial statement is prepared by the tool, you need to think about is there any IFRS Ind AS related adjustments which need to be done on the financial statement? Can that be customized or you need to do a manual adjustments? Fourth, storyteller. Now, instead of you preparing the data, the Power BI is doing the data, right? It is calculating whatever you want. Now you should be a good storyteller. That means how do you communicate the dashboard prepared by the Power BI to the stakeholders, okay, or to the management team. So you have to learn the skill of communicating. Inter Internal control documentation, right? When it comes to internal control documentation, again, you have time saved because a lot of things AI is doing it. So you have to focus on developing the internal control documentation. Focus on process efficiency to get best benefit from AI. Same what I told in P2P case. And last is handling Stakeholder queries on time. So when you are in artwork, there may be a lot of questions from different departments, controllers, plant. So you have a lot of quality time, or you can do a lot of analysis and support them on their queries. So if you see here again, the role redefined for accountants for artwork is more about creating value for the organization. Okay, you are not taking that effort. Okay, before the impression was that we show our effort, but now the impression is when you create value for the organization. So your job is redefined. Now coming to the last part, order to cash activities. Now let's understand which activities is replaced by AI now. So left side you see the activities what order to cash team does. Now let's see what are the activities AI has taken over. Again, the invoice creation and issue of invoice. So this is again a repetitive job. So there are tools which can create invoices based on PO raised by the customers. Automatic mails are triggered to customers along with invoice copies and backup documents. So no need of people getting into it. It's the system who does everything. Second, customer reconciliation. Same to like vendor reconciliation, account reconciliation. There are AI or tools who can perform custom reconciliation. Okay. So you receive the statement from the customer, you upload that, data flows from ERP, both get reconciled, and any discrepancies are reported so that the accountant can take action on that. Third, dunning process. So there are tools available which can send reminders to customer when the invoices are overdue. So the accountant manually need not write mails to the customers. Tools are there. When you give the time, you define the time when it should trigger the automatic mail, it will do its job. Now, your roles again has to be redefined, right, to sustain in the organization. So the first work what you need to perform is build customer relationship. Talk to customers and ensure that they record the invoices on time, right? Because if they don't record, then you are not getting payment on time. Now as you are free from the transaction activity and AI is doing on that, you are now focusing on building the relationship with the customer and getting the things happen on time. Exception management, this applies for all P2P, R2R, same for O2C. So exceptional items derived during reconciliation to be addressed. Compliance of IFRS Indies. So you focus on IFRS 15, IFRS 19, which are very, very important from the compliance point of view. So even though AI performs everything, you need to see that is there anything manually which needs to be adjusted. And the last is handling customer queries on time. So the experience with the customers should be good because customers are king, right? So you have to ensure that you give sufficient time, quality reply to the customers. Now we are back to our question again, whether AI will replace accountants. So in the previous three slides, I have explained to you which are the activities taken over by AI in case of P2P, O2C, and R2R. Now question is, in real sense, whether AI will replace accountants? The answer is yes, but not all activities. Which activities? The activities which are manual, time taking, repetitive in nature, right? Processes where errors chances are high. Only those processes will be replaced by AI, not all cases, right? But what's happening today in the market? All large and medium sized companies are investing heavily on AI and automation, and they want less people dependent processes. They want everything to be automated, right? Because even though they invest high amount, they see the efficiency going up and up every year. So now if you are an accountant, what you need to do, how you have to sustain in the market, right? So what actions to be taken immediately by accountants? The first one is upskill knowledge on AI, automation, workflow system. Second, enhance knowledge on compliances like IFRS, Indies, company law, etc. FEMA, for example. Explore how to increase efficiency of AI processes. Right? Even though AI is implemented, but there will be always a scope for improvement. So look into those things. Learn how to manage exceptional management. Right? As AI will throw data which are exception, and then you should know how to manage on time and in the right way. Develop managerial skills which will help collaborating cross-functional department, right? Because when you are free from these transition activities, your focus should be to create good relationship with the other department, so the data flow happens on time if it is a department dependency. And the last, come out from comfort zone. You can be replaced soon by AI. Sometimes we feel that Go back to the example of cashier, which I gave on the first slide. The cashier would have never thought that he will be replaced, and if he's in comfort zone and have not learned anything about other businesses transactions in bank, then he would be asked to leave the bank, right? Because the bank can't give a different task because he is not aware of any other task. So at last, before I conclude this video, I would like to say that in past or in 10 15 years back, or I would say that 5 years back, people were valued for the effort given back to the companies, right? We generally count the number of hours, productive hours. Lot of discussion happened that okay, my team member works too late. Time was the base to see the efficiency, to see the quality of a person. That has changed. Instead of effort, now focus is on value creating. How you are creating value for the organization, how you are creating the efficiency, how you are creating the value change system in the organization, the cultural change in the organization. So that's it from my side. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to the channel. But yes, if you have a different view or you have something to talk about AI and the accountant job, please write in the comment. I'll go through and reply back if required. Thank you.